Out in the rural stretch of Pawnee, far away from skyscrapers and smart infrastructure, Watch Dogs quietly shows one of its most unsettling ideas. What happens when a hyper-connected surveillance system simply stops caring? Pawnee exists almost entirely outside ctOS coverage, and that absence isn't accidental. Blume Corporation deliberately deprioritized the area because it was poor, sparsely populated, and politically inconvenient. As a result, Pawnee becomes a pressure valve for everything ctOS can't control or doesn't want to acknowledge. And the game uses this region to show that technological power isn't just about what's monitored, but what's ignored. The Pawnee militia thrives specifically because ctOS has blind spots. Without cameras, predictive policing, or automated alerts, criminal groups don't need to hide behind encryption or digital manipulation. They can operate openly, recruit aggressively, and stockpile weapons with almost no resistance. This flips the core fantasy of Watch Dogs on its head. In the city, Aiden Pierce is powerful because he can bend the system. In Pawnee, he's vulnerable because the system barely exists. Hackable infrastructure is replaced with dirt roads, radio towers, and human lookouts, forcing Aiden to rely on old-fashioned tactics instead of digital dominance.
What do you need?
What makes Pawnee especially important is how it exposes Blume's moral framework. ctOS is marketed as a tool for public safety, yet its coverage is selective.
Peace, cuz.
Neighborhoods that generate data, profit, and political influence are protected, while places like Pawnee are left to rot. The militia didn't just appear. They filled a vacuum created by corporate neglect. The game subtly suggests that surveillance capitalism doesn't fail randomly. It fails strategically. Blume protects what's valuable to its shareholders, not what's dangerous to society. Pawnee also reframes Aiden's role as a vigilante. In the city, his actions feel surgical, almost justified by system-generated crime probabilities. In Pawnee, there's no algorithm telling him who deserves punishment. The militia members aren't flagged by ctOS profiles or crime prediction software. Aiden has to decide for himself who the enemy is, and that lack of digital validation makes his violence feel heavier and more personal. The game doesn't spell this out, but the discomfort is intentional. Without a system to blame, Aiden is forced to confront his own judgment. Even the environmental storytelling reinforces this idea. Pawnee is littered with abandoned buildings, propaganda signs, and makeshift defenses, showing how easily extremist groups grow when oversight disappears. The militia isn't portrayed as technologically sophisticated, but they don't need to be. Their power comes from being invisible to the system that claims to see everything. In a world obsessed with total surveillance, Pawnee proves that neglect can be just as destructive as control. By placing this region alongside the hyper-connected city, Watch Dogs makes a quiet but sharp point. Technology doesn't create safety by default. It creates zones of importance and zones of abandonment. Pawnee isn't just a side area for combat encounters. It's a warning about what happens when society relies too heavily on data to decide who matters.